Our audience feedback gives us direct insight into our target and secondary audiences and their views and critique on our text, especially our music video. Through the production process of our text, we gathered constant audience feedback. Gradually collecting this indicated exactly what we needed to achieve. We noticed that everyone had very different views, and a combination of the target and secondary audience's ideas and feedback gave the best end result. When creating our product, we had two target audiences in mind. Our core audience is female 13 to 18-year-olds, mainly looking at the teen audience as popular music tends to be most popular with this age range. As Atomic Kitten had a reunion in 2013, this target audience also covers their band from when they were popular in the 90s, and this audience will be interested in the new bonus tracks we advertise on our digipack and magazine ads. This age dominates the people listening and buying chart music, and as we would hope their new songs would be in the charts, we would want to target this audience. Our secondary target audiences are the tween audience, 8 to 12-year-olds. When creating our video, we made sure that our characters and artists stayed quite innocent in order to appeal to this secondary audience. This is also the age that the core audience would have been when Atomic Kitten was originally popular, so we know that they appealed to this age range in the past, and should still now. Another secondary audience we have is 19 to 24 plus. Atomic Kitten have been on TV spots like Loose Women, the demographic for this show being anchored clearly as middle-aged women, definitely not our target audience. Our final secondary audience is men, as we are still trying to appeal to a mass market. We did this by using aspects of the male gaze theory to try and get interest from a male demographic. Atomic Kitten also appealed to a mass market in the past, objectifying themselves in their videos. When researching the audience for Atomic Kitten and pop artists in general, we found that they most likely target the female audience, usually teens. To promote their music, they either appeared on radio spots or TV spots. They had a clear secondary audience, as a lot of them also appeared in men's magazines such as Nuts and FHM. Compared to a lot of girl groups, Atomic Kitten did seem to convey a certain amount of innocence and stayed mostly true to the teen audience. However, there were definite uses of the male gaze theory in their videos. The most successful way we found of gathering audience feedback was to show the individual or group our video or ancillary text, and then proceed to film their reaction and ask them questions regarding this. This kind of feedback is good to look at, as from re-watching the video we can quickly remember the age, gender, and some of the other interests they may have through watching the video. Here is an example of audience feedback we have gathered in this way.
Yeah. Do you think that the music video fits with a 12 to 24 age range?
24?
Yeah. Just a
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. It's not hot. 20. Yeah.
Is that it? Can I stop now? Yeah.
Oh, right. Guys, she's filming.
Okay, so what did you think of the ending, being the ending of it and stuff?
The bit with the fire. Yeah, the fire was good.
I like the effects of the fire.
However,
I like the contrast between colour and black and white.
I don't really know whether she'd actually look on his phone. I don't know whether. Would you look on her phone?
Yeah,
I suppose it's the point of the video. I like the black and white.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, the black and white was really good when it was like just telling the story, and then colour for the singers.
As some people didn't want to be on video, we just recorded their voices giving us feedback. As we wanted to gather as much audience feedback as possible, any kind of feedback, whatever form we were given it in, we were grateful for.
I think the costumes are really fitting with the whole persona of the girl band, which is not so promiscuous, but it's more like your average girl band, and they're quite fitting and quite suited to us in the story. Yep. Thought the narrative was really good because it was easy to follow and see what was going on, and the whole black and white for the narrative was really nice.
Would you think that the video ending with the girl band or the narrative would look more effective?
I think with the girl band it looks more effective because it kind of like sums up that maybe really effective at the end when the girl band work off rather than the black and white of the narrative.
Really liked the layering and it was believable. Looked quite preppy, like pop star. And the ending was really, really good for a video. Like, that's the kind of thing they'd use in an actual pop video.
Talk about
the costumes used actually fitted the conventions really well, and like the amount of times they changed into different outfits was believable, because that's what they usually do in pop videos.
The black and white bits were good to split up between the pop bit where they're miming and the story, and also black and white was good to like, kind of, because it's obviously sad, so it's like pathetic fallacy type thing. Yeah.
One of the main ways we got constant audience feedback was through getting feedback from our media class. They are all in our primary target audience age range, and there are also a lot of boys in the class, making it easier for us to see if our texts apply to a mass market like we hoped they would. Also, by asking the media class, we know that they are very knowledgeable about the technology specifics that go into making our video, and therefore their feedback is very useful as it is direct and can be particular to an effect or tool we use when creating the text. With them being accessible in every media class, just to spare a few minutes to give feedback, although it wasn't all formally recorded like other feedback was from non-class members, we could tweak certain aspects there and then making our texts always be improved and receiving constructive criticism. The most important thing we gained from audience feedback was that the original idea wasn't working. We were told from various different people of different age ranges and genders that the narrative in our original rough cuts was not believable, and it looked like a very student-made video, and also didn't have the professional feel that our video needed in order to be successful. We were also told that the cast in the video were not convincing or sassy enough to look like a genuine girl band. From taking note of this feedback, we made an attempt to try and salvage the video. However, it seemed to continue not to work, even after multiple reshoots. We had a big group discussion and decided that instead we should change to a British girl group instead of the original Pussycat Dolls. We did this because compared to the American girl groups, the British ones tend to be a lot less provocative, therefore it would make it easier for our performance sections to be convincing. We chose the group Atomic Kitten as they reunited in 2013, making them very relevant, and had the fan support to help us with gathering audience feedback. As we chose an upbeat ballad-style song as our new idea, we had to do fresh audience research to develop the conventions and style that we would need to portray. We used fan forums and websites to get audience feedback, as well as to research our artist, genre and audience. On these fan forums, such as Fan Pop, we would ask the fans questions and also display our rough cuts here. This was very useful as we knew that the people who were responding to this feedback genuinely cared about the outcome of our video and wanted Atomic Kitten to be portrayed in a positive light. However, on a lot of fan forums we didn't get much response, so we tended to opt to get feedback from social networking sites, as they are more widely used. The theory of Web 2.0 and websites and the internet becoming interactive and user-generated reflects the way we gathered audience feedback. Websites such as YouTube and Blogger have a very active comment section, helping us gather instant feedback, and it being very easy to screenshot and evidence when displaying the feedback we get, and also sharing it with the rest of our group. Other social networking sites such as Twitter and Instagram were also very useful in this aspect, especially Twitter, as we can instantly get messages out to our audience, as well as giving them instant feedback also. It also helped us to know our audience on a more personal level and recognise the people that consistently give us feedback and comment on the progress we are making with constructive points or praise. However, social networking sites are very vast, and this means it is difficult to target a niche market on them. To overcome this problem, we added tags to our work to make sure that the audience that are interested in what we are producing can easily find us. One piece of feedback we gathered that was one of the most useful was that the shots of us laughing could work very effectively. Even though this is a common convention with boy bands, showing them messing about and having a laugh, this also gave our video a more light-hearted feel. We also had a lot of this footage already from outtakes of our shoots, and this was a great and effective way of utilising this footage. This feedback also really helped with our ancillary text as well as our music video. Due to this positive feedback of a one-off shot of us laughing in our main video, we chose to use a similar image of us laughing and smiling on the front cover of our digipack. We also got good feedback from this, saying it worked effectively here also. We also had a lot of negative feedback that has really helped us improve our work. An example of this is that we hadn't edited out any shaky shots that had accidentally been left in our video. Due to us being so deep in editing, we often failed to notice them and had been concentrating on the cutting and effects rather than basic features that make a music video look unprofessional, such as shaky shots. As soon as we were informed about this from various different people, we extensively went through our video, noting down any shaky shots and either replacing them with alternative footage shots, stabilising them using tools on Final Cut Pro, or doing our best to cross-cut away from them. This made a big impact on how professional our video came across and how neat it looked. When having to carefully cut the video to avoid this, we also took the opportunity to cut more to the beat, as this was also some feedback that we received. By gathering a number of different people's feedback at once, by asking a large group, we could look at our video and evaluate which of these points were useful and edit in all their points accordingly. This saved a lot of time doing it this way and also meant that each of our rough cuts changed significantly. An example of how we used and really utilised our audience feedback was when we were undecided about the ending of our video. We had 2 alternate endings, which we were very undecided about, so we made a short vodcast showing both endings. We then showed this video to our target audience, gathering feedback on which they thought was the better ending. Eventually, we decided on ending the video with the 3 members of the girl group, as this was the more popular choice when asking audience members. This audience feedback ended up being very valuable to the success and end result of our video. Our first rough cut had significantly less effects than our final cut. When delivering our rough cut to our audience, mainly our media class, they said that we needed to experiment more with the vast range of effects that Final Cut Pro has to offer. After doing this, we realised that transitions and additional effects didn't clutter our work like we presumed they would, but instead improved them, making our video flow better and show a good contrast between the narrative and performance sections specifically. We also got extensive feedback on our ancillary text. It was very easy and useful to get feedback on our ancillary text, as they are just one image being shown rather than a video, and we could display multiple images on a page and ask the audience to pick out their favourite, or give feedback on all of them. From this feedback, we changed a number of images chosen for our magazine ad. Originally, we had an image of half the band member's face. Our audience research revealed that they didn't think this was very effective, and an extreme long shot with that member in the band in a feminine pose was much more effective and professional looking. Some of the feedback we received on the digipack we also rejected though. Looking at past Atomic Kitten videos, we noticed on their digipacks they tended to go for a very simplistic look. We also wanted to do this, as it also made the digipack look very clean cut and professional. We thought that by overcomplicating the image it would start to look messy, and when viewing it, it would be hard to concentrate on the main features we wanted to draw attention to. For example, the main image and the artist's name. Our audience feedback suggests that we layer more complex images and make the image, on the inside especially, a lot more dynamic and have a lot more going on. We disagreed with this and thought the multiple layering of the petals and candles was effective enough, and anything more may ruin the aesthetics of the digipack and the simple theme we carried across all our ancillary texts. Despite getting feedback from people in person being an effective way of gathering feedback, the growing impact of digitisation helps us to gain feedback on a much larger scale. Due to all the feedback we gathered, it helped us improve our products to the standard we were eventually happy with, and that became our eventual final products. Audience feedback helps blur the line between audience and producer, making our products more user-generated as the audience influenced the outcome of the video and ancillary text. Without our audience feedback, the view we had of our products would have been very biased, and we may have struggled to have the level of self-criticism necessary to make the text as effective as possible. Also, as we are all female in the group, it was very important to get a constant male perspective to make sure the mass market was always being considered and targeted. When creating a product, you can often get very into it and zone out. Because of this deep concentration, there may be key aspects wrong with the text that you are overlooking in order to finish the part you are working on. By asking people for audience feedback, it also allowed us to stand back and look at our work, whilst other people were, and gave us more of an opportunity to be self-critical and evaluate how successful certain parts were and the audience's reaction to the video.